As I thumb through some of today's design-centric contemporary magazines, view the latest furniture lines, or hear the buzz about what's new and next, one fact becomes unavoidable. Great design is, indeed, timeless. Many of the pieces we see today were in fact designed decades ago, and yet despite the passage of time and whims of fashion, remain strong, fresh, and relevant. I say relevant not only because many vintage pieces survive and continue to be produced, but because many of the best new designs, even if original pieces, clearly draw inspiration from good designs of the past. My point is that as furniture makers, where we're headed has a lot to do with where we've been. I can say from experience that solving design problems often at least starts with seeing how others have handled them. It's important to study, appreciate, and find inspiration from great designs of the past because they invariably have a way of both living on and paving the way for the future. To that end, let's just say that today is a good day. Hi, I'm Joe Griffith, the furniture maker at Studio Joe, and today we'll be visiting the Canton Museum of Art to experience a fabulous exhibit featuring the furniture of mid-century master Arden Riddle. Let's take a look. First, the basics. Arden Riddle was born March 16, 1921 in Stumptown, West Virginia. He was raised on a farm alongside 6 brothers and sisters. After high school, Arden volunteered for the U.S. Army. He achieved the rank of Master Sergeant and fought in Europe during World War II, including participation in the Battle of the Bulge. Arden earned awards in the Army, including the Bronze Star. He never expected to survive the war, yet fortunately returned home alive. Upon returning from the war, Arden apprenticed with a furniture manufacturer. He built furniture during the day and learned drafting skills at night. Arden went on to attend the Kendall College of Art and Design and the Gilbert School of Advanced Design in Michigan, graduating in 1948. Arden then followed several family members who had migrated to Akron to work in industrial plants. Not wanting to work for a big furniture manufacturer, Arden opened his own furniture business in 1950 in Copley, Ohio. It was a family business. His father worked with him after retiring from Goodyear Aircraft. Arden's brother Paul handled upholstery. Sisters Pauline and Geneva sewed and created cushions. Arden Riddle's style may best be contextualized as Bauhaus, after the German school of art founded by Walter Gropius, which was operational from 1919 to 1933. Bauhaus was heavily influenced by modernism, a cultural movement which traces its roots back to the 1880s. Personally, I find the idea of styles helpful in a general sense, but tend to think of schools like Bauhaus or modern more as often overlapping ways of looking at the world rather than strict styles. After all, designers are people too. They certainly don't want to feel boxed in. Arden Riddle's passion for furniture was all-consuming. He worked long hours and created many timeless pieces whose beauty is in their simplicity. A true practitioner and advocate of the modern approach, the allure of Arden's pieces lies in the natural beauty of the woods he personally selected, the basic yet sculptural shapes he created from them, and the warm, comfortable, inviting look and feel of the resulting furniture. Arden's modernist mindset and no doubt military background translated into efficiency in production of his furniture. Butt joints reinforced with dowels, round pins essentially, were his preferred approach to construction. Dowels can be cut and assembled much more efficiently than many other methods of joinery. Although similar in theory to traditional mortise and tenon joinery, dowels generally don't require as much surface area between parts being joined together. Arden Riddle indeed took every advantage of this. Light and elegant describes both the physical and visual weight of this chair. This results from the considerably thin, shaped pieces of which it is composed. Here's a close-up of the section where the armrest joins the front leg. Here's a picture of me holding up a pin about 3/8 of an inch in diameter next to this joint. What's more, Every joint on this chair is, by traditional standards, incredibly thin. These types of connections are just not accommodating of traditional joinery methods like mortise and tenon. Dowels, however, are ideally suited for this. Now, judging by these containers, it would seem that Arden kept on hand a considerable assortment of dowels of various sizes. He used this machine to accurately and efficiently cut all of the holes in which the dowel pins were fit. Here's a shot of Arden in action. Judging by the look achieved in the finished product, I'd say Arden's approach was, both in terms of efficiency and design potential, well worth it. Another aspect of contemporary furniture, like Arden Riddle's, which I just loved, is its willingness to reimagine and reformat the basic traditional building blocks of various pieces of furniture. If I had to pick a single most important design element which shows how modernists like Riddle allowed furniture to break free from its traditional confines and expand out into new, fresh looks and comfortable curves, this might be it. A case in point, the side rails on tables and chairs. These are the pieces that join the legs together and support the tops or seats. This picture shows a more traditional geometry for positioning and sizing rails and legs. The tops of front rails and side rails align not only with each other, but with the tops of the legs as well. Is this the way it should always be? Not so, say designers like Arden Riddle. They are happy to challenge almost relentlessly our preconceived notions of where the parts within a piece are supposed to be and how they are supposed to look. Modernists happily move rails up or down to enhance their designs. They may be moved down, sculpted, and placed on display. This can make the top or seat above them appear lighter or as if it is floating. Conversely, tops of rails which actually support tabletops or seats may be pushed up above the tops of the legs, also creating a floating look. Often, for maximum effect, one set of rails may be lowered and the other set raised. This exploring all design possibilities approach shows itself in other areas as well. Were you expecting to see a side table next to this 1966 settee? How about if I just work a wonderful travertine top right into the piece itself, says Arden Riddle. All this, and yet, despite the ways in which modernists challenge traditional design elements, the best designs are well-proportioned, fluid, and pleasing to the eye. To quote Arden Riddle, pieces of furniture should be like members of an orchestra, each playing its role, but not screaming for attention. One excellent approach in the Arden Riddle pieces on display in Canton may prove helpful in solving a design question I'm facing right now. I'm working on a console table, specifically an entryway table, which will be using the wood of the drawer fronts as accent pieces. I've been looking for a method of opening and closing the drawers that will keep the fronts uncluttered, as may happen with hardware. Fortunately, I'm visiting this exhibit with my woodworking friend and expert problem solver, Charlie Moyer, who knew Arden. Charlie has seen the prototype of my table and is aware of the issue I'm trying to address. Charlie called my attention to these filing cabinets which were built and used by Arden. The recesses at the edges of the drawer fronts at first may look like pulls to open the drawer from the top. Actually, the recesses give you access to a notch cut in the bottom of the above drawer fronts as a means of pulling them out from the bottom, keeping the drawer front clean and on display. I might just have to use this approach. Thanks, Charlie, and thanks, Arden. I'd like to end this trip with some notes of thanks. Thanks to the Canton Museum of Art for this wonderful exhibition and allowing me to photograph it. Thanks to Dan and Mary Jo Marks and the Arden Riddle Museum for their efforts, and especially providing Arden Riddle chairs in which museum visitors may sit. You don't really know a chair until you sit in it. Thanks to all the organizations and individuals who have loaned their undoubtedly prized possessions to make this exhibition possible. I'd also like to thank Jeff Andrew of Garth Andrews Interior Design in Bath, Ohio for introducing me to the work of Arden Riddle. Also, thanks to Jillian Andrew for some excellent selections with regard to the upholstery on several pieces. I heard many nice comments about the fabrics. Last but not least, thanks to Arden Riddle for the beautiful pieces of furniture and inspiration with which you left us. And as always, thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon.